Danny! 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 Yay!
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I just got off the bus and the copper's fingered me. Jesus. It says it's hard that I'll get arrested. Well, welcome to Hollybush, ladies and gentlemen. It's like a home to me. That's where, well, if home was full of strangers, looking filthy, it looked like a second-rate carnival. And welcome to bushfest. Yes, this is the festival, so what piles is to Bradley Wiggins. Oh dear. Oh dear. So are we up for it, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Are we up for it, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Are you up for it? Lads at the back, are you up for it? Yeah. Are you up for it like a Tory MP's up for an all-expenses-paid trip to Vietnam? Yeah, you don't bother asking their age, do you, when it's all paid for? What about you, love them? They say you up for it? What about the comedy? Oh, yes, yes. You're looking lovely there. I must say, you should be on the telly. You look fantastic. Yeah, big fat gypsy weddings. Have you ever had your lips down the scrap man's trumpet? Spit on it, gives a bit of a clean first. And you, sir, at the front. Yes. You look like you know your way around a scrapyard. You've got the air of a scratter. Yes, but to be fair, I'm in the waste transfer business myself, you know, because we've all got to make ends meet, haven't we, these days? Because it's so expensive, isn't it? Things are so expensive, because I don't know about you, I don't know how much you pay for your prostitutes. Not much, really. But mine have doubled in price recently, I don't know why. Christ, not as if they're old enough to drink. Look, Brian hasn't even started shaving yet. Yes, but for those that don't know me, I'm Danny Razzle, Skips to the Stars, Celebrity Waste Transfer Management. Yes, and being with the Stars, I do get to know them, and I make friends with them as well. The other day I had a phone call, it was Beyonce. I picked up and she said, Dana, because that's how she speaks, because a lot of people don't know she's originally from Pontefract. Just Dana, Jay-Z's let all the pigeons out together, and they've all come back and I don't know which one's mine. I says, Beyonce, I've told you before, you should have put a ring on it. I says, anyway, never mind, get Jason on the phone, get Jason, because that's Jay-Z's proper name, Jason. I says, Jason, get your ice cream van down Cradley, Heath this weekend. There's a comedy festival going on. You'll sell 4, 5, 6 cones. And he said, Danny, I can't. I says, why not, Jason? Why not? He says, because my refrigeration unit's packed up, all my cones have gone stale, and my little chocolate flakes have all melted together. I says, oh, Jason, no. Talk about 99 problems. It's not to be one. Oh, dear. But now all the famous people, I do get to do a bit of jobs on the side. Yeah. Cash in hand, Stubbo, cash in hand. Yeah.
What's wrong with this one?
I've been a stunt double for Barry Chuckle. I've helped Peter Stringfellow move into his sheltered housing. And I've even babysat for Elton. Now, easy, watch the glass, will you, when you get up and fuck off because I'm shit. I've even babysat for Elton. Now that's John, Sir John, not Wellesby, sports lovers. Oh yes, little Zachary loves me. When I went round with my glam rock love puppets, he loves them. Look at it, so does Elton, he loves them too. I don't know whether he's reminiscing about the 1970s or he's just hypnotised by the bright colours and sequins. But every time I tell that story, it always reminds me about the time I was round there for a little garden party, nothing major, just a few heads of state and minor royals. But you know, when you're out at these things, you know how it is. One keg of Kestrel super strength inadvertently leads to another. Next thing I know, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was stark naked, and I was woken by Elton, shoving a few of his fingers inside my Gary Glitter. But It may surprise a few of you. It may surprise a few of you, but I've not always been in waste transfer or celebrities. After I left college, I went to university to train as an architect. But I had a stroke at the age of 24. It could have been a brilliant career. Well, I say stroke. The Crown Prosecution Service called it aggravated sexual assault. Tomato, tomato, you know how it is. But whilst I was there, I had an affair with a much older lady. Yes, big Shaz. I can remember her now standing there with a fag in a gob, a big hole in her Aranid sweater, and her fanny had that many grey hairs, I used to call it a vagger. And we was in love, we had our names for each other. I used to call her Toadie, because she drove like Toad of Toad Hall, and had a big warty face. And she used to call me Ginge, because of my gum disease. But it was never to be, because she said she found religion. She said she found religion, yeah. She said she'd been touched by Jesus. I said, touched by Jesus, a famous fella with a beard. I said, you want to check it wasn't Ralph Harris? Yes, but see, I do love kids as well. You know, my sister's got 3 lovely young girls. She really has. Yeah, Rose, Ruby, and Pearl. Now, they was all named after the first gift her husband bought her when she visited the maternity ward for the first time. But yeah, Brown D next door did something similar. I call her Brown D because of the colour of her curtains. Brown D did something similar, yes, with her 3 kids. Stella, Benson, and the youngest, Steak Bake. Oh. Yes, but thing is though, I know a lot of celebrities, it sounds glam, but it isn't always the case. Sometimes they phone me up with some of the problems. You know, I had Kate Winslet on the phone last night, talking about an athlete's foot and vaginal dryness. I've got to be honest, it's 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. Yeah. And I'm not one to speak ill of anybody. But if Morrissey comes here tonight, I'll knock his fucking teeth out. The conniving bastard. I tell you what, I brought his car off him. I knew it was a bit short of money. Because he spunked a load of it on Nazi memorabilia. So I went there and brought his it was British Racing Green Montego. Oh, Vanden Plas, beautiful machine. I tell you what, that leather ran smooth on the passenger seat, it really did. And I was talking to him, I says, Mozza, is there anything else up with it? And he went, no. Now, here's a bit of advice, ladies and gentlemen, if you go and buy a car, don't take the word of someone dressed as a Waffen SS field officer. Really don't. Because when I got it back home and I looked round, it had 2 bulk tyres, done more miles than Gandhi's sandals, and on the dashboard, there was a light that never went out. Now, I'm talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. I might have a smile on my face, but I'm rather upset. rather upset. Not just because I want a cack and I forgot to bring some toilet paper from home, but because I fell out with a good friend of mine, Rod Stewart. Still stings. Well, I was around his house trying to give him some friendly advice, having a chat with him. Is this all right, David? Yes. Are you ready? Are you primed? Are you ready to shoot? Anyway, I was around there, and I was just saying to him, I said, Maggie May, leave her for a bit. We are sailing, sink it. And your hair, Rod. By Christ, your hair. Fucking how old are you? Put a bloody count through it. And that's when he says those words. Live with me forever. You've delivered your skip, now just fuck off! Please don't patronise me, please. But I'm standing here to you today, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just normal. I'm normal like you. And you, and like you, David. I'm just a normal person. But I've been writing my memoirs recently. I just want to read a few extracts. It used to be my diaries, but for love of the money, I can't find where the missus has fucking put it. So, here we are, just a few extracts from my memoirs. Wife not speaking to me. It's not the first time I've befouled the bed, but it's the first time I've paid a prostitute to help me. Hooray! It's my birthday. I'm quite surprised I received a card off my auntie, and she still refuses to speak to me after catching me fingering a cat. I was quite impressed as it read, "Happy birthday, nephew, you sick, vile, perverted bastard." I'm not sure if you paid extra for the sentiment or it was just a standard line off Moonpig. I couldn't believe my luck discovering some of my old magazines when clearing the loft. Ada looked lovely in 60s and over. What they do to supplement their pensions is their own business. Yes. Even though there is obviously suffering from arthritis, Aidan Rose's Lesbo shoot was tastefully done. It dealt with the issue of fuel poverty, so it was erotic yet thought-provoking at the same time. Ada looked like she'd seen some action, as a Fanny looked like a surprised hippo. I did feel guilty though looking at these magazines, not because of the exploitation of these frail and vulnerable old women, but I've just had a wank over someone who's now probably dead. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. And here it is, finally. Has it really been over 30 years since I wrote to Jim will fix it? I'll always remember that letter. Dear Jim, can you fix it for me to be put to bed by a nutter in a tracksuit? At the time, I was quite disappointed. But in hindsight, I was quite glad it was David Icke that turned up. Thank you.
Hey!
Goodbye.
I'm going to get one of the
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Razzle.